why is there a disproportionate, nearly 15 times the population percentage of Aboriginals represented in incarceration? Anthony, let's start with you. Feel free to assess things you've heard as well as just your opinion.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, crime's the big one, obviously. Having said that, if Aboriginal people had access to better legal representation, that might bring the numbers down, but we shouldn't use that to, tiptoe around the fact that they're committing a lot of crimes. And there's a lot of victims that go along with those crimes. And I know Jacinta deals with them regularly. Now, something else I was just reading last night is for many, and I don't know how many percentage it is because no one does a survey on these things, but for a lot of young Aboriginal blokes, it can be seen as a rite of passage going into jail when so many of their peers have done it. So, I mean, that's another factor that's contributing to the elevated rates. But when we talk about this, people want to know the solutions, what's the ultimate cause. And I think if you don't bring it back down to basics, if we can have Aboriginal adults in meaningful jobs, and if kids can see Aboriginal adults working as being normal, that'll solve a lot of the problems. Because when they see that adults are working and that's normal, they then understand the importance of school, and the parents understand the importance of school because they know that school leads you to, gain meaningful employment or go to university or whatever. So, there's the high crime rates, but what contributes to that? It's you have, high rates of unemployment, that sort of thing. Jacinta, do you want to add?
Yeah, look, definitely welfare is a huge factor. I think if you're there's the low socioeconomic issue, there's the welfare issue, the welfare dependency, and I think from my part of the country where I come from, I talk often about the cultural factors that basically encourage violence. We're sort of waiting the judicial process to take place after a nephew of mine was murdered last Friday, and that was as a result of an ongoing family feud. And I've had a lot of media try to ask me questions around this situation, and I won't talk about the details of it based on the fact that there is a judicial process taking place. But what I will say is that there is acceptance of violence. It was used as a means of social control. All in all human history, violence has been used as a means of social control. But obviously, we've still got a lot of culture intact, and there is an active push to ignore that this is contributing to the rates of violence, which is contributing to the high levels of incarceration.
It's not enough to do nothing. It's time for us to do something.